So last night around 10:30 p.m., the English Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis Twitter dropped a launch trailer for the game. So there's some things that I noticed that I want to go over, do a quick little breakdown, go over some of the story that I think could happen, show some of the new outfits and some of the new limit breaks and stuff. So let's jump into the trailer.
星の命、ライフストリーム、あらゆる記憶、知識、感情を乗せ、巡り巡る。時に交わり、時に離れ、見たことのない物語を映し出す。それもまた、星が宿すもう一つの可能性。
All right, so right off the bat, we open with a war battle of some sort on Glenn and his crew, and we have Sephiroth talking to seemingly the player, spoiler, that turns out to be Cloud at the end. So he's talking to Cloud and or the player, you, talking about the live stream and all that stuff. But we have Glenn, Lucia, and Matt here in Rador, I believe is the name of the island, fighting off the locals who look like Wutai, but they're not. This is, I believe it's south of Midgar. That's what I was told. So this is a new location and everything. What's interesting here is that we have a feather, white feather, a few of them actually, fall down and in front of Glenn and his crew, and then Sephiroth follows the feathers. It shows the birds, the doves and stuff with the feathers. So it's just like, I guess it could be foreshadowing or whatever. But I think the intention here is to show that Sephiroth at this point in time is pure and has no, he's not corrupted or whatever. You know, he's actually like, he's normal, and he actually has good in his heart, because we see the white feathers symbolize good, the black feathers and wings symbolize evil, with like Genesis and Sephiroth, and an Angel, of course, having the only white wing in the game. We get a nice little shot here of Sephiroth's original sword before the Masamune. What I think is interesting here is that there's 3 materia slots. They're all green, so there's nothing really crazy here, but it is cool. I think this is meant to show that there is a link, like how you'd have all and fire, and it would do fire. The two right here, the 2 green ones, obviously are linked. I don't know if that matters or what that would be, but it's just a neat little detail I noticed. All right, then we continue on with the whole flashback of Nibelheim. Hey, Sephiroth, you know, he's having his freak out. Stuff we've already seen. We know all this stuff's going to happen, right? And then we have Motorball. This, to me, is interesting. I know this is supposed to be a faithful recreation of OG. However, I cannot help but notice this is probably just me just being stupid and thinking too much into this. When you fight Motorball in OG and in Remake, there's only Motorball. Here, we have Motorball, Sentry, Shinra soldiers, or soldier, just one, or Shinra sentry guy, I'll get it right eventually, and a guard hound. These aren't in OG or Remake. It's probably just because it's MOBA and, you know, or mobile game, and you gotta have more enemies, you know, whatever reason. It's just interesting to me. Could mean more, could not, I don't know. But here we get a shot of Red's new pilot bomber jacket, which is cool. We get a little glimpse of that. Then we get the Aerith and Cloud scene talking about Zack. Then we get a Ifalna inspired Aerith outfit, which is sick. Looks pretty cool. I get white mage vibes from that, so it's definitely that. Now we also see Specimen here. This is interesting. I just kind of noticed this in this trailer, and it's also in Remake. There's a skull here. It kind of looks like Genova's skull from Remake. I don't know if this is a monster, an amalgamation of monsters all put up together with Genova cells, and maybe it was like in the process of whatever. Again, just something that came across my mind as I was watching this. Classic Don Corneo scene of smashing his bits. If anybody knows what these are up here, let me know. I have no idea what this is. I assume it's some kind of battle mechanic, but I have no idea. Then we get the Chibi motorcycle scene. Here we get our first look of Bear's new outfit. The end of Midgar. We get a glimpse of Tifa's new white outfit. I think it's my favorite so far. I'm definitely gonna be going for Tifa's outfit whenever it drops for sure. So there's nothing too crazy about all this stuff. This is all just before. This is all Crisis Core events. So we've seen all this stuff before. Nothing too crazy here, except one little thing here. Zack's new outfit here is like Raiden from Metal Gear Solid or Metal Gear. This looks sick. All right, so we have quite a few things to go over here. Here at the beginning, we have Lucia and Glenn talking about Soldier P0 class, which is Project Zero. We get to see the local guy from the previous trailers and the dog who Glenn named Stamp. We get a look at one of the enemies here. This is called a Gallon Balor. We've seen these enemies before. There's a Balor King, and then there's regular Balors. This one's a Gallon Balor. I've noticed that every enemy that I've seen so far in all the trailers, they're all level 20 except for Motorball, who's level 30. I don't know if that's just like placeholder levels because of, you know, closed beta tests, stuff like that. But the Gallon Balor here looks very different than the other Balors. So I don't know if this is like a mutated one or just a higher ranking one, just a different variation. It's like much stronger than even the Balor King. And then coming up, we get to see brand new limit breaks for Lucia, Matt, and Glenn. Here is a neat little cutscene. It seems, I doubt this is playable. Could be, maybe. They're leaving the island, it looks like, and they're being chased by the Gallon Balor. I assume this is after the fight that we just saw with the team fighting him on the beach. I assume they try to escape and he chases them down. So are we going to be able to fight him on the boat, or is he going to chase us back to the beach and then we fight him there? I'm not really sure.
あの人たちは優しくてきっとそのせいで死ぬ決めろ生き延びてほしいのは誰だ
さあ、新たな物語を始めようか、クラウド。
So possible spoilers if you don't want to be spoiled with the first soldier story. So here we have Sephiroth talking to the local here. Clearly, obviously, Sephiroth is a kid, so this takes place before he goes crazy. But Sephiroth is talking to the kid, the local, saying it's going to get them killed one day. Possibly, I imagine, talking about Glenn, Matt, and Lucia, talking about how them being too kind for their own good is going to get them killed. He's concerned for, I assume, like I said, Matt, Glenn, and Lucia, talking about they're going to get killed because they're too kind, maybe trying to help the locals, but also still help Shinra with their Mako facility location planning thing. So with them trying to help the locals, with Glenn, Matt, and Lucia trying to help the locals, maybe Shinra doesn't like that. Shinra is trying to stop that because, you know, President Shinra wants the Mako. He wants all the Mako. But because they're being good, Sephiroth's like, you can't do that. It's going to get you guys killed. President Shinra ain't going to have it, bruh. But then the local kid here, I assume he's a kid, maybe teenager, goes on to say, whose lives are more important to you? You need to choose. Who is he going to choose? He wants Sephiroth to choose to either save the locals. If my theory is true about Matt, Glenn, and Lucia helping the locals here of Rador, then Sephiroth needs to either choose to save them, or he needs to choose to kill them and go with Shinra, side with Shinra, which he ultimately, I believe, has to side with Shinra because it's Sephiroth, right? So I believe by siding with Shinra, Sephiroth is going to end up getting Matt and Lucia killed, possibly this guy as well. Clearly, Matt lives because we see him confront Sephiroth much later on, claiming to be a hero, and Sephiroth says that makes him his enemy. So I think Sephiroth is going to choose Shinra and take out everything in classic Nibelheim fashion, causing lots of death and destruction, except for Glenn. Glenn lives, he becomes a mercenary or rogue or whatever, meets back up at some point with Sephiroth after being on the run, hunting him down, fights Sephiroth, Sephiroth kills Glenn. That's the end of First Soldier. I have a theory on who and how Glenn could possibly die. I'll post that down below. I talk about how the surname Lodbrok is Norse, I believe, or Viking, and the implications that's based on. Super interesting stuff. I'll post that down below for you to check out. But let me know down below what you think of this video, what you think of the trailer. Are you pumped? There'll likely be loads more updates to the game coming out. We only have a week left till it drops, so expect lots and lots of content on not only Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, but at the moment I'm also making guides on Sea of Stars if you are interested in that as well. So be sure to hit that like, subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.